The very first step in creating a landscape design is to put the footprint of the dwelling that's on the site down in your CAD program. The footprint of a house here in this example is shown here in the magenta colour, and if I pick on this line to represent the back of the house, you can see if we look in the properties box, it's 56 feet long. When I pick the line at the side of the building, it's 16.5 feet long. So the very first thing we need to do is to draw that house footprint. I'll just again change the background colour to white so that things are a little clearer. So we're going to concentrate next on putting the footprint of some imaginary dwelling down on the site. We'll put the site boundaries in much later. Most dwellings, of course, have their corners at right angles or maybe 45 degrees. So we need to set gCADPlus up so that we can easily enter distances in feet and decimal feet and 6 inches and 9 inches and so on if we need to. Well, I've now returned to our getting started drawing, and what we're going to do is to place the footprint of an imaginary dwelling down into our drawing space. I'll create it over here to the left just to keep this one in view for you. I've put the footprint down and coloured it magenta, and the dimensions that we will need as we work along are shown in white alongside the appropriate wall line. Again, just for my benefit to show you a little easier, I'll change the background colour to white, but I'd stress that when I'm drafting I like the background colour black. It's a little kinder on one's eyes. So our job is to create this same footprint out here, and I'd like to show you how easy it is to enter distances. So let's start at the back corner here. We'll pick draw and line, and I'm just going to start at any arbitrary point, although as I'll show you later you can set a grid and snap up so that everything locks to a particular coordinate. But I'm just going to start here and just head off in the direction that I want to go in. You'll notice that down in the status line here I've turned polar tracking on. You can just press the F8 function key to activate that. But I hope you can see that as I come to the horizontal, the cursor locks to the horizontal, and I just type the distance, which here is 34, and I'm typing that at the keyboard, and you may notice that down in the command line area down the bottom here, 34 gets reflected. Now we're going to move down 54, so you just head in the direction you want to go in, type 54 and enter. We then come across 9 feet. So it's just 9.0. You can add the 0.0 if you need. And we're there. Now we need to come down. If you look over here, 3.5 is the distance for the little porch. So let's move across again. So I come down here, and this time making sure your cursor stays locked in. Just a matter of typing 3.5. So I'll be taking these sort of measurements from a little mud map that I would have done on site. So 5.0 and enter, coming back 3.5 and enter, 3.5 enter, back over here 20 feet and returning up in the vertical direction 54 and right click to exit. Well, let's imagine that there's a path running around the outside of this dwelling, and rather than draw that path in using the technique that we've been using of drawing every individual line in, it's much easier to gather the lines that we've drawn by wrapping a box around all of them, right click and join them together, and then use one of our modify commands, the offset command, pick it and then right click, and we want to set some sort of distance. Distance is currently set at 0. I'll just go back to through point, then back to distance, and type, say, 3.0. We'll have a 3-foot path running all the way around, and right click to exit. That's a lot easier than tediously measuring all of those. So we'll just change its color away from magenta to by layer and unselect all. Later we'll move the footprint and the path to appropriate layers. Now I'll zoom out a little and we don't need these dimensions anymore, so let's delete them and they're gone.